Well, I thought I'd tell you the story today about how sometimes American arrogance can be offensive, but it can also cost you dearly in what you're trying to accomplish, what you're trying to do. Um, I drove a Suburban. I didn't know what I was doing, and so when I went into Mexico, they said I couldn't drive in on a vehicle that was the bank still owed. I still owed the bank on, and so I gave basically gave away a brand new van and asked a friend to take up payments. And then I bought a piece of junk car to drive home. And from there, we bought the Suburban. And we're on our way into Mexico. We live in Mexico and everything's going well. Fact is, it's not that long before I'm going to get out of language school and my motor blows up. And so when it does, I went to the missionary in charge of things. He's in heaven now. And I went to him and I said, I need some help. I've got to get my motor replaced. You know, American talking to American to make sure you get it done right. And so I talked to him and I asked him if there was what I should do. And he said, look, I don't have time to deal with it right now, but in a couple of weeks I'll get to you. And I was like, I can't live without my vehicle for 2 weeks. And so what happened was I went to some of the students who were in language school with me, and they'd been mechanics and done other things, and they knew a lot about cars. And so they said, well, we can rebuild it. We've rebuilt racing engines. We know what we're doing. So they rebuilt my motor, and it blew up. And they said, well, we don't know what happened. We'll do it again. So they rebuilt it again. And so finally, my friend, my Mexican friend, my mentor, my buddy that was teaching me and helping me, he came over to the house and he said, look, he called me over to the side. He said, I don't want to offend you. I know how Americans think they know more about what's going on here. But he had gone to his Mexican mechanic, and the Mexican was a little bit angry that we were trying to fix the car and we thought we knew more than he did, which was totally not true. And so my friend said, look, if you'll let me, I'll take it to my friend. He'll fix your vehicle and it will work this time and you won't have any more problems with it. Yeah, well, there's that little bit of American ego, and I'm still brand new, and I'm still learning about working cross cultures, and you carry so much baggage in when you go into another country and you don't realize you're doing it. And especially if, I don't know, maybe not everybody, but at least me and the guys I went to language school, we had a problem with it. It's arrogance. It's thinking your culture's superior, which is not true. And anyway, so there's a whole lot of lessons there to talk about. So the Mexican took my car, fixed my car, and it worked like a charm. Well, come to find out, the Americans were used to working with American technology, and when you went to get a motor machined, or when you got everything cut down to the right specifications, and they handed it to you, it was exactly what they said. But in Mexico, they were still not using the same equipment, and so the mechanic is the one who had to check everything and to add some different stuff if things weren't exactly right. And he knew exactly what he was doing, and the Mexican man fixed the motor, and I never had another problem mechanically with that vehicle. Fact is, my wife and I gave that to another missionary who was going up into the Chihuahua mountains as a missionary, and I think that motor went on for quite a while longer, and that's a blessing. Now, here's a major lesson for you to learn if you're a new missionary. America is different, but it's not better. America's different, but it's not necessarily better. And they know more about how to work with their technology and work in their country than we might. And there's a lot you can learn by listening to Mexicans. We were talking just the other day, me and my buddy, and he told me about how offended they had all been over the way I handled that. And I was just ignorant as all get out. And you're going to make a lot of cultural blunders. But I want to remind you that they're not different. You are. They didn't come into your culture when you're a missionary. You went into their culture. And you could listen and learn a whole lot more than maybe what you're learning when you're trying to be so forceful. So I know what I'm doing. There's something about made in the USA. And believe me, I love America with all my heart. I'm 100% USA. I love America. But when you're doing mission work, you need to leave that behind. I used to tell the Peruvians, and I didn't know this when I was in Mexico, I hadn't learned yet. The Lord had to teach me. I think everything along the way is going to be teaching. But I learned, we are not citizens of this country. Philippians chapter 3, our citizenship is in heaven. And we are citizens of another country. And our king and our mayor and our governor is the Lord Jesus Christ. And our Constitution is the Bible. And so leave your cultural superiority at home if you want to reach people. Leave your cultural superiority at home if you want to reach people on another mission field in another part of the world. America's different, but it's not necessarily better. I hope you can take that home and think on it a little bit.